Do Kwon, the so-called Korean Elon Musk, is making crypto headlines again. Well, first things first, he's finally removed Master of the stablecoin from his Twitter bio. Thank God for that. But according to a Terra Luna insider and investigator whose name can only instill confidence in him, Fat Man, he has now reported that Do Kwon may have been taking up to $80 million every single month out of Terra Luna's coffers and into his own secret personal wallet. That's no good. This rumor has come as Terra Luna Labs has lost their appeal to the SEC and is now obligated to respond to its subpoenas. Terra Luna 2, the new token, the Fresh Start, crashed 80%, while the Terra Luna Classic token that's abandoned by Do Kwon soared over 60%. We have a lot to get into, so please hit that like button below. I super appreciate that, and let's jump in. So Do Kwon was in New York last November speaking at Masari's mainnet event, and just minutes before he went on stage, you'll never guess what happened. He got served a subpoena directly from the SEC. The SEC was planning to investigate him on the Mirror Protocol. The Mirror Protocol being owned by Do Kwon and Terraform Labs, which essentially were crypto tokens that track the price of stocks. So you could essentially trade stocks by using crypto. Do Kwon and his lawyers basically said, no thank you to the SEC, saying that they're Korean citizens, their company's set up in Singapore, and the US doesn't have any jurisdiction over them at all. However, on June 8th, the district court judge said, I find that there is a specific personal jurisdiction with respect to both Kwon and Terraform Lab because they purposely availed themselves to the privilege of doing business in the United States. She went on to point out there are employees of Terra Luna in the United States, including the general counsel, which I think is very telling. So that's not good news for Do Kwon, and that was the first blow. But the second blow was a whole lot worse. A rumor from the infamous investigator of Terra Luna, Fat Man. Sort of sounds a little bit like Batman. He's taken it upon himself to find out exactly what happened back in May when Terra Luna's ecosystem lost $60 billion in just 3 days. He tweets, it's still insane to me that LFG logs haven't been released. Preferential cash out could have happened at any point. Do Kwon selling to himself, bailing out VCs, or even the cleaning up UST on their own book. This is shaping up to be a $3 billion fraud. This is in response to his direct messages with Do Kwon, where Do Kwon said no VCs were allowed to cash out anything, no backroom deals of any kind exist. We are trying to see if we can name counterparties in the trade, but confidentiality will need to be waived in order for us to do this. And which Fat Man says, that's basically a cop-out, bro. Do Kwon's essentially saying, I'm happy to show you everything, all the trade logs, you don't need to look behind the curtains, everything's great back here, but unfortunately it's going to breach confidentiality agreements and there's other parties who may not want that. But for me, I'm very happy. Everything's all kosher behind here. It's a little bit sus. And with all this secrecy, nobody knows where this money could have really gone. Which is why it's pretty crazy that just recently, ex-Terra Luna employees have said that Do Kwon may have been sending himself $80 million a month from the coffers of the Terra Luna ecosystem into his own secret personal wallets and did not disclose this. These rumors were so bad for the Terra Luna 2 ecosystem that the token dropped over 80%. This crash was actually so bad that Do Kwon, who has just been silent the whole time, actually popped up on Twitter with a thread addressing this. We'll get to exactly what he said in a second. But before we do this, there was a third blow to Do Kwon's face and the integrity of the Terra Luna platform. In the new Terra Luna 2 airdrop, you basically got new Terra Luna 2 tokens based on how much of the Terra Luna 1 token you had that basically went to zero. Essentially, they're looking for a fresh start and they're going to give you your tokens back in a brand new ecosystem with a lot of trust built in, and you can pretend that nothing ever happened. And actually, it did actually appear to be a really good fresh start. The biggest thing was that in this airdrop allocation, 90% of these tokens went to the community and the other 10% went to the developers, meaning the team was supposed to receive 0 of these funds. Think of it as the team extending an olive branch. But this user Pedro on Twitter recently tweeted, don't forget to clear up the TFL wallets getting millions of Luna 2 tokens in the airdrop. These are multiple known wallets that TFL controls that got 15 million Luna, and are definitely not employees, VCs, or early backers. Basically, Pedro uncovered that there were wallets that belonged to the team that received 15 million Luna 2 tokens, which at the price of $10, which this was well past $10 at one point, is $150 million in the airdrop when they were supposed to get nothing. So what is Do Kwon's response to all this? Hopefully he can fly in and settle these issues and everyone's going to be getting along again, ready to look into the future of the prosperous Terra Luna 2 token. Well, thanks to this massive dip in his token, he did address these rumors. He tweeted out this thread saying, "While most of our efforts have been spent on Terra 2 and making sure ecosystem developers can find a home after the DPEG incident, we will soon be more proactive in communicating with the press and getting the right information out there. There's a lot of misinformation and falsehood out there, and we promise to do our part in making sure as much of it is correct as possible." While he was addressing these issues, all he basically said is he plans to address these issues in the future. And a lot of the information that's already out there are falsehoods and just misinformation. So I guess we're gonna have to wait for his official word on this before we can really clear this up. But I will leave you with this video, a very interesting video from Do Kwon, one that doesn't make too much sense to me. People are saying this predicted the crash and that he actually wanted it to happen. And other people are saying, well, I don't even know if there's another side to this.
It's a cycle of life. You begin from nothing and go back to nothing. And that's exactly where I want to be. So I think Terra is going to be the decentralized money standard across the entire blockchain, across all the blockchains. And I'm excited for Terraform Labs to contribute a significant portion of that early vision, but eventually to go back to nothing.
Right.
Yeah. Excited.
It's a strange video. So essentially you can say he wants to build up this ecosystem, but for some reason, with the cycle of life, he wants it all to come back down to zero. Or maybe he was just talking about himself personally, where the community is going to take hold of this ecosystem and he's going to go to zero. I'm not sure. What are your thoughts on the Terra 2 ecosystem? What are your thoughts on Do Kwon? If you want to stay up to date with it, hit that subscribe button below. We're bringing you a lot of awesome Web3 content. 3 videos a week now. It's an honor to be here. I appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next one.